Hi, my name is Newell Davis with Wormiculture, and I finally have all the stuff ready to go for my trommel here to sort. So I'm going to show you how I set it up, and I'm going to try sorting, and we'll see how this goes. I've never tried this before, so this will be a first on video as well as for me. All right, so let's start. First thing first, I have my trommel here. I have my boards out here that are going to be the ends, but one thing I do need is I need to put down a tarp. I wasn't originally planning to do this inside, but with the temperatures outside, I feel it's a better choice to do it inside than out. So what I have here is a tarp, and we're going to have to see how we can set this up here. So, as you can see, that's how this is going to go. Move this all the way. Let's move this out a little bit more. Alright, so unfolding the tarp all the way. Hopefully this is a big enough tarp to handle this. So we're going to put the this piece right here, the end pieces, and the footing. Put these right on the ends, like that. And we're going to put this one over here as well. Alright, we're going to put down our little catch pieces. There you go, that side's good. That side's good. Now the other thing that I added here, I don't know if it'll work or not, I don't have quite enough tarp, but I wanted to have this, I'm going to kind of move this off to the side a little bit here. A little bit more. There's a little, I put a hook on here so that way we can kind of hook it on. And the idea is that I don't want to make a huge mess. So this will kind of keep it contained, I'm hoping, as I spin the trommel. So now that we have that together, put the trommel on. Alright, that looks like that'll work well, and it'll keep that up as well. I should move this over just a little bit. It's a little bit crooked, so I'm going to straighten it out here just a little bit. There we go. All right, now what I'm going to do is I have some empty bins here that I use, and I'm just going to put these underneath to catch all this stuff coming out from the bin, or from the trommel. We're going to catch them in these bins. Now there's one other thing that I do need, and I don't really have anything for it now that I think about it. But we'll just use this pot for now, but I'm going to use this on the end here to catch anything that comes out the end. And hopefully it doesn't splatter all throughout here, but we'll see. As I said, I haven't tried this yet, so this will be a first. All right, let me see if I can back up here a little bit, give you a better view here. All right. So here we go. What we're going to have here is inputs coming in over here, and then we're going to have the outputs come in out over there. We're going to have this, hopefully some stuff fall through the screen, and hopefully the worms come out at the end, although we'll see. You know what, maybe I'll do a combination here. Maybe I'll leave those there, and then put, so we can kind of see a little better maybe. Put this lid back here, and then a lid over here. And that way the lids kind of catch everything coming out, and that way we can sort it or organize it later. So, as you can see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the stuff in this side of the bin. I'm going to turn it. I'm going to turn it so the bottom half is going towards the tarp, because that's the way it should be throwing everything, I think. And that should make it where everything sort of sorts out. So what I have here is I have a bucket. This is from my flow-through bin. It's still a little bit wet, but it's not too bad. This is a little bit drier than some of the other stuff that I have, and the other one that I had issues with before for sorting is still moist, but we're going to try it. So what I'm going to do here is actually going to push that forward just a little bit. I'm just going to dump some of this in, if I can. Maybe I should have made this a little bit longer. That's my next goal, I guess, for next time. Maybe I need a slightly bigger tarp so I can make this a little bigger. All right, we have a little bit of material in there now. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just slowly turn it. I'm hoping that it doesn't come out this end, but goes down and works its way through. And I'm hoping that eventually I can kind of make this a little bit more, less manual and more of a labor where I just hook something up to the end to turn it, but we'll see how this works right now. It's definitely moving in the right direction. I might be spinning a little too fast here. I'm not seeing any worms inside. All the material, it looks like, has worked its way through pretty much. I see 1 or 2 worms inside now. But let's just spin it a little bit more. It looks like everything's kind of worked its way out. I didn't see much come out here, I have to admit. But a lot of this stuff was pretty thick. If you can't tell, it's still really thick. So this might be something where it might have been better. I used 1/8 inch hardware cloth to do this. I probably should have used maybe a 1/4 inch or something like that. That might have worked out a little better. So that didn't really sort it, but it's a good start to just see how this works. The material, is, as I said, is a little bit wet, and it's probably a little bit too wet for this process. And that's my own fault. My bins are pretty wet compared to, I think, what they should be. I run them a little bit wet. I don't put as much bedding in. You know, I only have 1 flow through, and most of them are just sort of bins with no holes in the bottom. So there you go, a little bit more material, and let's just see if anything else comes out this time. So, at least it's all moving in the right direction, so I have the tilt right. It's just a matter of maybe getting these clumps to break apart, or maybe it needs a little bit more time to dry out or something. All right. This is also pulling this one back here. All right, there we go. So, again, same thing. Not much falling in here. There's a little bit in here. I mean, this one was completely empty when I started. You can see there's a little bit that's actually dried and actually falling through, but not much. So this is actually somewhat really of a failure for this. I think it's a combination of things. I think for me, probably the material is just too wet. And that's really the issue that I'm having. This material is just too wet to go through here, but it's sort of a start for me, and it's what I want. I want it to all be able to flow through, which it seems like it's doing. If I can get it to go through these holes, you know, with maybe some drier material, it might be a little bit better. So maybe I need to find a way to maybe redo my bins to make them dry out a little bit. So my first test with this was not quite a success, so I thought I would try to get some drier material. So I grabbed some stuff from the top of my flow-through bin, which is a little bit drier, has a lot more worms in it because it's also where I put a lot of the food. And maybe this will work a little bit better with sorting because it's a little bit drier. It might just flake apart a little bit more than my prior test, which was really wet and just sort of clumped together and just came out in a lump, if you can't see back there. So let's try this material out and see how it goes. I also brought a shovel so I can kind of put it in a little bit easier than it was before. Before I was really having some issues getting the bucket to go in. Now, just so you know, this is from the my flow-through bin. As you can't tell, there's a lot of worms in there. There's still some big cardboard chunks. So we should get some separation on this one. If it doesn't work, then I might have to redo something else with my bin, with my sorter here, as well as my bins maybe, to get it to work a little better. There's a lot drier definitely down here. As you can tell, I look tons of worms on this. This is just 1 shovelful here from my flow-through. All right, so let's try this out now. Again, still going towards the tarp. The bottom always goes towards the tarp. A little bit more falling through, but I don't know. I don't know if this is working or not. I think I should have used maybe as another design flaw with this. This 1/8 inch is just a little bit too thick to allow chunks out. I should have used maybe 1/4 inch instead, or maybe even 1/2 inch. So if you're doing this at home, maybe that's what you'd want to do. Now the other thing I did do with this, to make it so I'd have this option, is I made these sides a little big, so that way I could add on to it if I wanted to. Let's just take a look here and see if anything kind of sorted out. So, all right, it does look like very little of it sorted really, but the worms did seem to fall more on this half. Few that are in here. Let me get all these guys out here before they die in here, since this is not a wet area and I won't have a chance to really wash this either. So, but it does look like they sorted a little bit, and more of them are on this outer side, but it's not as sorted as I would have liked. I would have liked more of this stuff to fall through, and to not come out this end. So it would have been better if these were full. And actually, this one does have quite a bit in it this time. A lot more. All those little specks you see are the sorting material. This one has a little bit. As you can't tell, it's only falling to one side of it, though. So this one's a little bit better. This material was a little better, but I think that these holes are just too small. I think I need bigger holes in here. So I think I might have to maybe try to redo this with maybe 1/4 inch to try to get it through this. 1/8 inch is just a little bit too small. So that's the trial of sorting with the Trommel, and you know, it's a design for you guys to use. And hopefully somebody, if you would prove it, please let me know, and I'll take a look at it and see what else I can do. If you have any suggestions, please let me know as well in the comments. Hope you enjoyed this. Thank you.